All right. We're going to talk about a few things. If you'll allow it, this will blow your mind right off. You'll be like, whoa. Because, man, I've got 3 tablets hooked up to the same stuff, and all 3 of them, you can go on my shit, and it'll be different. It's crazy. And listen, this machine, the more you agitate it, the more it'll disrupt you in small ways that people don't know that they can, but they will and have and control. Real truth and knowledge and light coming through individuals. But it's just like anything, and I'm not talking about me. Throughout history, any kind of light that has came through under this regime has been flushed out. Any messenger. Should make sense. Children, from day one, yeah, they're over there being a child playing in the woods and leaves. That's a mental illness. You need to put them on, yeah, they do something. And see, the thing is when you introduce PILLSs into the system, that's not material it's made of. So when you understand sorcery and black magic, then you understand how you control a populace through chemicals, but then you make the dummies grow into careers ingrained into their DNA. But if you're in the medical industry, I very strongly suggest you watch this video. We have a lot of terms up here. So remember, what has taught me is showing you what we do when it comes to a thorough inventory. And truthfully, we can't exhaust all resources right now, but you're understanding what we're talking about. And you've already put some of that together. Some of y'all already see what we're fixing to talk about. Okay? But one of the comments was talking about cremation. God, yeah, that's God. This is God, but listen, the name comes from man. Okay? And we can get later on into the New Testament, but we're not even going to get into that right now. What we're going to get into is God did create us in an image of God. We're an image of the creation. Okay? And you are made of 12 cells, different cells / minerals, salts, that go with the 12 systems of the anatomy, the body. When you're cremated, those ashes, if you dissect them, all those mineral cells will be there in the ashes. Even when you burn us, we're still there. When you consume all the PILLSs and do whatever they say, it's the Vicks, rub, yeah, all those chemicals burn up in the fire. You don't understand what I'm telling you. So, and in the old days, burning people was the fastest way for the earth. Okay, let's get into the bones. The bones are the last to go decomposing. Okay, calcium phosphate, which is a cell salt, all right, rules the bones. So does Saturn. The light, the orb. Your bones wouldn't be there if that orb wasn't right there of Saturn. But there's rings up there. The same way that the bones are the last to go is the same way Saturn's light is the last. Saturn's the big boy. The middle finger represents Saturn. Okay? Rings. Every ring you have represents Saturn. The crowns of the kings represent Saturn. Marriage, which is under a corporation of the United States, is farce. The ring you wear represents Saturn. And it does. So, with that little bit being said, that's why old timers, I had to work at a animal control center, to where they euthanize animals and shit, and then they stack them up, and then you burn them. And overnight takes a long time. And then the next day we get to come in and scrape it. All those ashes, there might be a couple bones left. Hell, But there's some old timers out there, and what do they want it for? They're going to go put it on their garden. Why? Because it's full of minerals and cells. Yeah. See, do you understand what I'm telling you? And they used to put them on rafts and shit, but see, when Earth has to break down, it puts a strain on the Earth to break down longer. It's why you have your plastic, which people are stupid. And so the whole idea of us, and don't get me wrong, this is the truth though, of being buried is a business. All it has to do with money. You know. And I mean, it can be a spot for individuals to go to, because I do. But I also know about the spirit world, and I also know about God and the Holy Spirit and the air and the soul. Okay? In order, our soul is in our blood. Okay? For the life of the flesh is in the blood, verse.
According to Bible, King James Version, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
Okay, and how do you create the blood? Through the material that you eat. Right. This is where it gets into air. Air is electric. Okay? And the air represents inspiration. Air is going to represent ions of air, water molecules. Because we live in water out here. You don't know about it. That air mixed with what we eat in return in the combustion chamber slowly breaks it down and turns it into blood, and then that return goes up here and runs through everywhere. So it would be like the best jet fuel ever. But everybody's running on nothing. The Vatican has claimed dominion on the air. They own the air. Come on, guys. I know you're dumb, but you're not that dumb. You can't say, that's them. What do you mean? Just because you don't see it affecting you in your geographical location, it's not affecting you. See, that's the illusion. You give the dummies a decent life of poisonous substances and give them gadgets and all this other device slave shit. And then in their world, this harmonic world, which we're fixing to get into with the ions, because see, the air is definition of ion.
Here's the definition of ion. An atom or molecule with a net electric charge due to the loss or gain of one or more electrons.
Loss or gain. Well, this is gain. This ion represents gain. You gain from breathing alone. The air, it's electric. You gain. Over here in this world y'all live in, you lose. So as a collective of ions, you got it in cremation. It's ions. Loss. You burn, but it's still there and then regenerates life. And then this ceases to exist, and then these two, bam, there they are. They don't teach that in the churches. But everybody's got this because they're a group of electrons that are negative. A negative charge. This represents a positive. This running through there is negative ions. And then you got a subscription to every social media site. See, it's your pre-script of the day. Definition of script.
Here's the definition of script. Handwriting is distinct from print, written characters.
The written text of a play, movie, or broadcast. There you go. Definition of pre.
Here's the definition of previous to, before.
The day. We're on fire. Definition of sub.
Here's the definition of sub, informal. A submarine.
subcontract. There it is, subscription, but okay, it says with repetition, as of a process, so as to form, stress, or deal with subordinate parts or relations. Let's see. Let's look at some synonyms too. Reserve as nouns. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to. They all leave. It says designated hitter. See, that's so 5-year-old though. See, you subscribed to your YouTube channel. I have everybody. I mean, see, that's the thing is you have to look at us as ions. Okay? And like with me, and part of being a positive electric ion, electron, whatever, in amongst all shit ions, then of course I'm going to be looked down on, and you will too. Okay? Because look, this has to do with your brain, right here. The ether body, physical, your anatomy. This has to do with your brain. Okay? Because it used to be the Ethernet. And now it's the internet. And see, the ether body, which is connected, all three of these bodies are connected to the damn zodiac and the earth. It's in Scripture. It's just they have, for generations, just never talked about it. And so if you don't talk about it, it's like, Matt, we go to here. It's like, it's funny how they dress up in costumes. Every fucking one of them. So what is alcohol going to do to the ether body, to the brain? It's going to numb it. So it's going to disconnect it. Here's Earth. Sun, moon, ether. This is where you go right here, up in here. Ether. The air is the ether. You know, that's why the antennas and stuff are drawing the ether in. But see, your brain is not no more. It's drawing in the internet. So they've created this Ahrimanic spirit. You go to your fake colleges and universities and go to astrophysics. Yeah, which is a fucking lie. It comes from astral body and physical body. It's all your anatomy. Everything that they've ever invented comes from me and you. Everything. Every fucking thing AI comes from me and you. Vehicles, computers, everything. It's funny when you're people work and it's like, what's wrong with that? Well, the brains of it's messed up. It's like, you just fucking said it. So where did that invention come from? You know, the way that what's inside of me is in you, and we built what they have melted and blown to shit. Okay? The only thing really left is Egypt. And if you look over it, because I'm sure they debated on what do we need to leave to create the aliens, because Saturnalian alien, it's at the end of that, because it's Saturn. But anyways, it's like, because like where I'm at was the last to go. One of the places last to go. Because around here, you know, they'll tell you that the Civil War, there was so much gun battle that the woods erupted in flames and burned everything to ashes. It's like, just fucking dirt everywhere, because you ain't going to find those pictures. And when you do find them, that's the excuse. And then the first fucking schools around here, they wasn't long ago. First students was out in the woods collecting dinosaur fucking fossils. Even though it was melted direct energy, microwave weapons, melting structure, covering it up. Creating an ion of fucking dummies. Here they come. Criminals, orphans, slaves. It's not hard to see how they set it up. Animals have an astral body. There's music up here. There's music in the spheres. Pythagoras. You've got to start reading some shit. Actually get the secret teachings of all ages. I think it talks about it in there. It does, the musical spheres and tones. And all that up there is connected to your spinal cord. Okay? And this magnetic field that's running through you that's connected to all three of these bodies down here. And you've got more than one brain. And see, all this is you're being charged as an ion. As now, I'm speaking as man terms. God is charging us. That's it. Positive and negative. The sun and the moon is positive and negative. The hour hand, the minute hand. Pineal, pituitary, positive, negative. Land of milk and honey. Honey being pineal, milk being pituitary. And that fluid in there comes out of the secretion, and then it takes those colors being charged. And then it comes out and crosses, just like an electrical cord. In the same way that you plug a fucking cord into the wall is the same way we used to be plugged into that. Okay, so this is our whole point. Real hell is this. Is you're going to be stuck here. Jesus Christ will be right here. It doesn't matter what you fucking say, think, or feel. That will happen when you die. You will be right here, and a whole mural of your existence will be right there. Your feelings, emotions, everything in here transfers to there. What tools did you learn here to go with you? You never looked up. So your punishment, listen, you fucking better wake up. Whether you believe in God or not, it's going to happen. So you get to face everything that you uploaded here. Here, in these antennas. Why do you think fucking deer with them antlers and shit are so nervous? It's because they're connected to that shit. Okay? In the beginning, you're going to learn. Let's do it. Genesis chapter 1, King James Version, spoken out loud. I wanted you to do it, Google. Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5.
According to Bible.com, Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 to 5 NIV. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Okay. You're going to hear of primeval waters. So we're going to say this is the line. There's earth. Eventually, the waters separated from the waters below. All right? And this is whenever we're going to say the moon and the sun came out of the waters. You're going to hear a lot of this in ancient texts. Sumerians talk about, listen, you don't get to go, hey, Goog, that's you're 5 years old. This takes years. You've been programmed with a 5-year-old brain. I got to go get it right now. I can't think about it. You see all of my fucking things on the wall, my money? See how many dicks I have around me? You see this? I'm right, he's wrong. It's like you're a fucking 5-year-old Ahrimanic spirit that this thing created. You've been let loose. You've been over on the other side. We've been trying to tell you that Satan ain't real. We can prove it by the numbers through satanic gematria. And you still fucking 5-year-old brain can't even put it together. So as the water separated, because in the beginning it was waste and desolation. Okay, because underneath earth there's going to be a black sun like a coil. Yeah, Tesla's not real. That's doing this, and then as whatever that fucking happened, and as they separated, all this came up out. Everything came up out. And see, before this came, all the spirit was there. We were in there. Okay? So now, this is how long Satan's been working. Satan has to be kicked out of heaven before anything else can happen. Everything was fine and dandy until that motherfucker did what he did. And then God said, all right, I'm going to give everybody their own choice. And separated the waters. Okay? But see, you have to understand the magnetic field. Back then, when all this was going on, it's not a physical form like you're thinking. This is real spirit realm shit. Okay? So over a long process, because when the magnetic field's creation, we can go through all the verses and show you. I'm just trying to give you a really quick example. Because this just, yeah, we've been here 6,000 years, praise Jesus. Give me your money and go fucking stick it in everything. Yeah, man, I go to this church. Get the fuck out of here, 5-year-old. Get out of here. Go stick your nose in the corner. And see, as this separated, the magnetic field, all the lights and everything up here, and all this is the same as your brain. You can put this right here. The Egyptian pyramid, they're not hallways. Those are like ventricles, like the third ventricle to the brain, to make sure nobody ever forgot. But then again, all pyramids were built like that. So when all this gets separated, eventually we have to come in physical form. Eventually we're going to be corrupted. Eventually we do. And then Adam and Eve, see, it's too much for people. Because at the end of the day, the pride that they have, it's an Ahrimanic pride that they will not let go. Okay, let's fast forward to now. I know it's kind of hard to say. No, keep going. Here, where everything was desolate, after the war, everything was barren. There wasn't no creeks or nothing. So they slowly had to water it with their seeding of the clouds and all that shit. Because they know the magnetic field. They know about this. Okay? When you have an old person laying on a bed for 30 days and you don't turn them, what happens? They get bed sores. Did they catch those? No, they didn't. It was created. But science tells you, yeah, we need to give them pills and everything for that career and all that other shit. The same way, good is created too. Through the magnetic field. They know slowly that seeding the water and all that, and as brush grows up and then there's shade under it, and now all those maggots and worms and shit are going to start coming, and then eventually caterpillars, and then eventually birds. That's what y'all don't understand. Listen. The dinosaurs ain't real. You've wondered where you come from, and if you actually pay attention to nature, you can figure out that we did come to physical form the same way through new life is created. It's like out there. Look, I've got a little pond. I mean, it's not little, but it's not big. But when the water's there, where do the fucking tadpoles come from? And crawdaddies. And then turn into frogs. Where in the fuck did they come from? They didn't crawl in. They didn't come in there. See, the magnetic field with the water, the dirt, the silica, and all these elements that are in there are just fucking right. And then eventually, bam! There it is. Well, how does the embryo come? Same way. It's a magnetic spark. And there's life. And that's created life by God. By the magnetic field that the three magi knew about. And when you squash that shit for generations and never teach people shit and give them this, we're going to hell, you fucking give me your money. You better look good. Shit, school they go to, you're right. Yeah, that's Ahriman. Every fucking mega church is on board. Every university, every fucking police station, whether they know it or not. This is the biggest slave system ever devised by this fucking machine that hates us and that wants our fucking blood and that opens up. You need to think about it. Lung shit. Look, they have these buses out. I can tell you what's wrong with you, you dumb shit. He's crazy. All I've done is wear a mask and done what the controllers have told me to do. You stay there. I'm government. You stay there. You stay there and you go fake vote too, you fucking idiot. And that's how, and then that person hates me, even though they're being used. It's crazy. So, do you see how excited I get over stuff? Because all I wanted to do was just talk about some of the ion stuff. And all this is ion. It's all water. The brain's 90% fluids. You're 70% water. The moon controls the fluids in your brain, in your body. Not anymore. Now the cell towers control the cells in you, combined with the chemicals and the substances of the ions of the bad electrons. You're a robot, like we've said. And you will bitch and moan and fucking leave shitty comments to the haters. And at the end of the fucking day, everything that we have talked about will come to fruition when you cease to exist in this fucking shit world. When this is dead, is the memory still in there? Yeah, because it's us. Where's it at? It's in there. So when you die, let me ask all the dummies something. So everything that you watch has zero to do with when you die. All those emotions that we get, all your fear of dying comes from the movies. Don't know me. Listen, you come from up there to heaven. It doesn't matter how you popped out. You come down at God's will. And now it's time that you got to get back up there. And you ain't going to get back up there with a whole fucking existence of never looking up. And I'll end on that. And you need to think about what the fuck I just said. You have never looked up. The school, everything is designed to keep you subdued just like a slave. And make you love it. Go get all the haters. I love you.